There's this moment that happens to almost everyone, and it usually hits you in the quietest, most unexpected way. You're folding laundry, or you're stuck in traffic. You're just staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning, and it washes over you like a wave you never saw coming. This feeling. This slow, aching realization, the thing you were so desperate to have, the thing you cried over, the thing you thought was going to ruin you if you didn't get it, it would have ruined you if you had, and nobody warned you? Or maybe they tried. But you weren't ready to hear it. I want to talk about that today. So I think a lot of us are walking around carrying old wounds from doors that closed on us, from people who left, from opportunities that fell through, from prayers that went unanswered, from plans that completely fell apart. And we treated all of those things like losses, like failures, like proof that we weren't good enough, or lucky enough, or loved enough. What if some of those weren't losses at all? What if some of those were the most quiet, invisible, misunderstood forms of protection you've ever received? I remember being 17 and not getting into the school I wanted more than anything. I had this whole life planned out in my head. The campus, the friends, the version of me that was going to exist there. And when that rejection letter came, I felt it in my chest like something had been taken from me. I cried. I was embarrassed. I had to watch other people celebrate things I thought I deserved. And I told myself a story about that moment. The story was that I wasn't enough. That story followed me for a long time. But here's the thing I didn't know at 17. The school I ended up going to, the one I almost didn't attend, the one that felt like a consolation prize, is where I met the people who changed my life, where I found the thing I actually wanted to do, where I became someone I actually recognize. If I had gone to the other place, the dream place, the planned place, I would have been a completely different person, chasing a completely different life. And I don't know if I would have been happy there. But I know I'm here now, and I can't imagine being anywhere else. That's not a coincidence. It's protection wearing a disguise. Think about the relationship you were absolutely certain was the one. The person you would have done anything for. The person you rearranged yourself to be loved by. You probably stayed longer than you should have. You probably made yourself smaller. You probably convinced yourself that if you could just be better, try harder, want less, ask for less, need less, they would finally see you. And when it ended, it probably felt like the end of the world. Not dramatically, not like a movie, more like a quiet collapse, like something in you just gave up. Look at you now. Look at where you're sitting right now. Yeah, that person isn't here. That version of you that was shrinking to fit into someone else's life isn't here either. You have space now. You have room to breathe. You might not have everything you want yet, but you are not who you were when you were with them. And that matters. That matters more than people say. The relationship ending wasn't a failure. It was a finish line. It was life saying, okay, you've been here long enough, you've learned what you needed to learn, it's time to go now. And you didn't hear it that way. You heard it as rejection. As proof that love doesn't work out for you. But that's not what it was. There's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. The idea that we only call something protection after the fact. In the moment, it never feels like that. In the moment, it feels like loss. It feels like unfairness. It feels like being left behind while everyone else moves forward. Nobody in the middle of a hard season looks around and thinks, wow, I am so protected right now. That's not how it works. The protection only becomes visible in hindsight, which means that right now, today, in whatever you're going through that feels impossible or confusing or unfair, you might be being protected and you don't know it yet. That job you didn't get, that friendship that went cold, that move that fell through, that plan that collapsed at the last second. You don't know yet what those things saved you from. You do not know what version of your life you would have been living if everything had gone the way you planned. And I'm not saying it all works out perfectly. I'm not sitting here telling you that pain isn't real, or that every loss has a silver lining tied neatly around it. Some things are just hard. Some things just hurt. But I am saying that the universe has a pattern of closing doors that would have led you somewhere smaller than where you were trying to go. I think about all the times I was so angry at the timing of things. Why is this happening now? Why is this taking so long? Why did this work out for everyone except me? And I carried that frustration like it was evidence of something. Like the timing being off meant something was wrong with me specifically. But timing is protection too. Getting something before you're ready for it is its own kind of catastrophe. And I wasn't ready. I didn't know I wasn't ready. But I wasn't. The version of me that would have gotten certain things earlier, the success, the relationship, the recognition, that version of me would have fumbled it. I know that now. I didn't have the emotional capacity. I didn't have the self-awareness. I didn't have the groundedness that comes from having been through some things and survived them. I needed the time I was given, even though I resented every single moment of it. There's a version of protection that comes from people too. People who didn't choose you, employers who passed on you, friends who drifted, family members who couldn't show up in the ways you needed. And this is the hardest one to make peace with, because those are people, and people feel personal. But sometimes someone not choosing you is the most loving thing they could have done, even if they didn't mean it that way, even if they didn't do it kindly, even if it left a mark. Because staying where you're not chosen, staying where you're not seen, staying where you're not valued, that damages you in ways that take years to undo. And sometimes the fastest way out of that place is for someone else to make the decision you were unready to make for yourself. I know that might be a hard thing to sit with. I'm not asking you to be grateful to the people who hurt you. I'm not asking you to rewrite history and pretend it didn't hurt. It hurt. You're allowed to hold both things at the same time. It hurt and it helped. Those two things can coexist. The older I get, the more I realize that my story has this strange shape to it. All the sharp corners and the detours and the dead ends and the wrong turns, they actually form something. When you zoom out far enough, there's a shape to it. And the painful parts, the parts I would have cut out if I'd had the choice, they're actually load-bearing. The whole structure would collapse without them. I needed them to become someone capable of appreciating what came next. So here's what I want to leave you with. If you're in the middle of something hard right now, if you're mourning something that didn't work out, if you're confused about why things keep not going the way you planned, if you're tired of waiting for something that feels like it should have arrived already, I want you to just hold the possibility. Just the possibility that you are not behind, that you are not cursed, that you are not the exception to a rule that works for everyone else. You might just be in the middle of something you don't have the full picture of yet. You didn't know you were being protected. Most of us never do. Not in the moment. Not while it's happening. We only see it later. And then we see it so clearly it almost takes our breath away. You will have that moment too. You'll look back at exactly where you are right now at this confusing, uncertain, in-between place, and you'll understand it. You'll see the shape of it. And you'll be glad, genuinely glad, that it went the way it did and not the way you planned. That's the strange, quiet miracle of a life lived long enough to gain perspective. The things that broke your heart were not always the end. Sometimes they were just the beginning of something you didn't have a name for yet, and you're still here. That means the story isn't finished.